Howdy folks, welcome to another Lorcana deck tech, and this time I wanted to explore a concept that was apparent at the very start of the set, and that was the Beast OTK Relentless combo. This fell out of favor pretty quickly, so I really wanted to see if it was actually any good, if it was worth using, if maybe there was a reason it fell out of favor, that, it's not consistent enough, it was pie in the sky, maybe people just got bored of it. So if you don't know what the combo is, this beast, which is the main part of the deck, whenever an opposing character receives damage, you can ready this character. There's no restrictions on whether it can quest or challenge or anything like that. So the idea is you just quest with it over and over and over again. And what you need is a live, active beast that can quest. So if you put him out turn 6, you essentially have to get to turn 7. And then you will need the Bayou, Mysterious Swamp, and the Sheriff of Nottingham. So those are the 3 cards. And again, the only thing that really matters is the beast has to have had his ink dried so he can quest. As long as he's the only thing on the field, on 7 ink, 6 ink, you can play Sheriff of Nottingham, play Bayou for 1, and move Beast there immediately. So you can keep these parts hidden in your hand. So essentially, Bayou says anytime a character quests while they're at that location, you can draw a card and then discard a card. And the Sheriff of Nottingham says whenever you draw or you discard a card, you deal a damage to an opposing character. So you quest with the Beast at the Bayou. You then draw a card, discard card. It doesn't actually matter what you're drawing and discarding because that will trigger the Sheriff. He'll deal a damage to the opposing character. The Beast will ready, and you can just repeat that. The only thing that holds that back is the amount of damage your opponents can take. But so you can go from 0 to 20 if they have enough health. And something people always overlook, there's always a naysayer who's quick to point out, well, actually, it's not technically an infinite combo. No, it's not technically infinite. But if this combo runs out, let's say you go to 0 to 16, that means you went from 0 to 16 lore in one turn, and you wiped their board, because the only way it ends is if they don't have any more characters for you to damage. I'd say that's a pretty good consolation prize. So, that's the main combo, trying to get to that. We've added in a few things to either help us draw cards or stave off aggression. Aggression is the biggest thing that can knock you out if they kill you before you ever get to the combo. Robin Hood into Big Robin Hood. Not only is it a way to stave off aggression, get some early lore, so that way you don't have to do a full 0 to 20. He'll also get a card draw when he dies. Same with this Beast Tragic Hero. Helps us draw cards. Hypnotize helps us draw cards and hurts their hand, so potentially keeps them from wrecking our combo. Strike a Good Match also helps us draw cards. Also, because it discards a card, it will trigger Sheriff of Nottingham. That's not completely irrelevant. Storm Rage On helps us draw cards, keep stuff off. Whole New World, if we can't get to the combo, you got a whole new world to get for it. So that's the whole point. We are very all in on this combo. So yes, something could come up that will mess it up for you. A Cogsworth is a big one. If they have a Cogsworth, what are you going to do about it, right? Benja, just for a little item destruction. Morph is very nice because we have several shift targets. We can shift into Tragic Hero Beast, Champion of Sherwood, or Giant Fairy Tinkerbell. And then Hook, Robin Hood again, just for early aggression. So the whole point, just keep yourself alive, get to turn 6, put out your Relentless Beast. Hopefully they can't deal with it. He is susceptible to a Tremaine, but he is not susceptible to Madame Medusa. Not many decks are running Dragonfire. They shouldn't be unbe prepared at this point. And again, if he hasn't exerted, then they're not going to be able to challenge him with anything. So it doesn't even matter if he gets damaged. As long as he lives and you can pull the combo off, that's all that matters. And one other thing to watch out for is Along Came Zeus. Unfortunately, it eats this guy alive. So is it any good? Does it work? Let's find out. Okay, our first matchup is going to be against Steel Amethyst. We do want to be a little mindful of Whole New World, as that can mess up your pieces, and that's a hard one to go against. So, let's say, you can see I have 2 pieces of the combo already in my hand. Bayou, Sheriff of Nottingham, I opt to keep it. If you think you might get Whole New World early, maybe it's better to try to cycle away those pieces and just hope you draw into them later, but here I'm opting to go for it. So I just go ahead and pass. The nice thing is, other than against hyper aggro, you should last till turn 7. Anything that's a little slower than that mid-range, it shouldn't be able to kill you that quickly, so you can kind of take your time, hold your cards back. Although you don't want to make it too obvious what you're trying to do. If you just play nothing, they might just be very suspicious, or maybe they won't care. So we just go ahead and use Strike a Good Match to dig a little deeper. I go ahead and get rid of a spare Sheriff of Nottingham. I also try to keep the combo pieces hidden as best I can. There's a pretty popular green steel variant running around right now, but it's more discard heavy. And once they see a card like Sheriff of Nottingham, they might clue in that, oh yeah, he's trying to combo me. Our opponent's going full aggression, just says, all right, well, if you're not going to do anything about it, I'm going to go ahead and quest. Here, I opt to use Let the Storm Rage On. We can take out the chip, knocks one card off his board, gets us one card deeper. We got plenty of Sheriff of Nottingham, but no sign of the beast yet. It's the only card we need for the combo piece. Now, effects like resist, such as what that butler has, are not the butler, the bodyguard prince. I don't know where the butler came from. It's like Eli LaBouffe came down. Those can be a little tricky, and by a little tricky, I mean very tricky, because if you can't ping them for 1 damage, then it's kind of pointless, so that's why Cogsworth is a bit of a problem. And here, I opt to go ahead and check his hand. At this point, because I still haven't seen the beast yet, and my only form of current card draw is a Hypnotize, at this point, I'm starting to be like, okay, this might not work, so we need to shift gears, which you need to be able to do, right? Sometimes the combo isn't going to line up, or they'll have something that takes a key card out of your hand or just prevents you from doing it, so you need to be able to adapt and shift when it looks like, okay, this just doesn't look like it's going to happen this game, so let's see what else we can get off here. So our opponent puts down an evasive character, runs into our Bayou, just doesn't want us having that, which I'm okay with, because 1, I have a backup one in hand, 2, it means they're not questing, right? So in a way, it's kind of slowing them down. So I would actually prefer they do that over just questing out, because yeah, if they get ahead of me, then that's going to be the real problem. Our opponent quests out. The morph is nice because I can shift onto the Tinkerbell and immediately go in and attack, which is exactly what we're going to do. Yeah, no beast in sight, so we have to go to another plan. Tinkerbell hits everything for 1. I have to hit the prince, unfortunately, but I opt to just take out the evasive. Even though I have cards like Smash, things that can do some direct damage, you just never know. Sometimes you don't see those, so I would rather be able to just get rid of it while I've got the ability to. Take out the Cusco as well. Drop the Bayou, move Tinkerbell there. Feeling she's likely pretty safe. Shouldn't die to that. And yeah, combo is not going the way expected, but we're going to try to make do nonetheless. Our opponent plays an I'm Stuck. Haven't actually seen anyone use that card. So Tinkerbell will not ready at the start of the next turn. She essentially stays exerted or frozen, which really not a bad card if deck spaces weren't so tight. That's actually a pretty cool effect, and that's not an effect you see a whole lot. Our opponent goes to 16, so we definitely need to try to stop them. Now here, I'm thinking, man, without the beast, Sheriff of Nottingham doesn't do anything. But actually, that's not quite true. Watch this. Right? So now we get a Nottingham trigger. Boom. Play a hook. And pass. So now, even without attacking, with a second Nottingham in hand, with the Bayou, we can suddenly threaten that. Actually, I can kind of kill you without having to engage with you by just questing, which is pretty cool and a little more useful than I first thought it would be. Our opponent just resets the LaBouffe. Probably should have quested with him first, put themselves to 18, and then they would actually have been on lethal here if that's the case. But nonetheless, I'm going to try to get my way through it. Tinkerbell can't challenge anything. So we put out the second Nottingham. So if they had put themselves on lethal, then we go ahead and quest. So we get another Nottingham, but that's okay. So now with 2 on board, every time we discard, we're getting 2 shots. So essentially 3 questers, and I'm knocking out their board without actually doing anything. It was a pretty cool feeling. Wasn't what I was expecting. That I always like when there's a new angle to the game. And so again, normally one of my issues with Lorcana is, and hey, there's the beast finally, is if you are behind in lore, you are spending all of your time challenging to catch up, right? Whereas here, I'm actually questing, so I'm progressing my own win condition and also slowing them down at the same time. Anytime there's anything like this in the game that's kind of a combo is pretty cool. Lawrence, a 4/4 that quests for 2 is nothing to sneeze at, and he is on lethal, but again, I have the sheriffs at this point. So I don't even need to challenge with this hook, right? I can legit just use the sheriff and just keep going. And now I just get 2 shots. So I could kill this snake in 1 quest, and then 2 quests I'm going to kill the Lawrence. I just go ahead and use the Storm Rage on anyway for another draw. Yeah, and look at that quest. Knock out another one. Boom, boom. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool little combo. Like I said, more than I had originally anticipated. Here, I don't need to do it anymore. And so, yeah, I mean, I've got lethal at this point. Opponents in top deck mode. I can't possibly imagine what they could draw on those colors to get them out of it. Even a whole new world just only gives them so much. So, well played, and we move on to the next one. Yeah, I mean, you can see, look at all the value I got questing while also taking their board out. Sheriff of Nottingham, maybe a little better than thought, but obviously has to be paired with the Bayou. Round 2 against Amber Steel. I'm anticipating Steel Song. Take out our opening. We've got the Beast in the Bayou, and here I really am anticipating a whole new world. Like, ooh, I don't know. I do have Morph into Robin Hood. I don't hate this hand. I decide to take a chance on it. Say, you know what? I'm just going to hope that maybe they can't get to a whole new world. I do have Smash also, so if they play the Aerial on turn 3, I can just smash it, and that way they can't sing it. Of course, if they get out the early Robin Hood, we're kind of in trouble, but I'm just willing to... We're going to see how it goes. Opponent inks a queen and puts out Cinderella, which does make me a bit nervous to put Morph out now, as Cinderella can immediately sing Let the Storm Rage On. I'm just going to try for it anyway, because if I can shift onto the Robin Hood, and if she doesn't kill it, that's going to feel really good. Plays Bare Necessities instead, so can steal my Bayou, can steal my Smash, takes out the Smash, says, nope, you're not taking out her Cinderella. But the nice thing is she's already exerted now, so I am set up for Robin Hood to just come in and clean her clock, which is going to feel really good. Don't need that many beasts early. Robin Hood, shift on, and Robin Hood doing Robin Hood things. Cards absolutely busted when it comes in early on turn 3 like that. It can kill almost anything in the game, and again, similar to the Sheriff of Nottingham, progresses your win condition while it's challenging them, which is crazy. Gets along came Zeus, so I know Robin Hood's not long for this world. Really wish I had that Smash. So this is actually kind of funny. What I opt to do, I'm not sure. I'm expecting a whole new world at some point. I just go ahead and cast this. I hit the Smee because I'm thinking, oh, well, when the Smee exerts, he'll then die. I didn't realize I was going to draw a second one. Had I known that, I would have used it on the Aerial to get rid of her. But I thought, well, I'll use it on Smee because that way if he quests, he then just dies. Oops. Should have kept it, yeah, because there comes Along Came Zeus. So had I known, I would draw into the next one. Would have done it. However, we do now are set up for Tragic Beast. And, okay, that's at least one Along Came Zeus down. One less one we have to deal with. And we still technically have the combo in play. If I can draw into a Bayou, like, we're doing pretty well. I'm drawing to a turn. I could ink and put out Relentless Beast, or I can just get out a Sheriff of Nottingham and try to combo off like last time. I opt to do it. And I say, who knows, maybe my luck will be good enough with this Beast. I can top deck into a Bayou. And our opponent says, oh, I'll help you get to that Bayou all right. Whole new world. I do get one more Sheriff of Nottingham, but no Bayou. I was kind of excited for a second. I was like, oh, maybe they'll just give me the pieces and I can do this. Nope, not quite. And so every 1 damage represents 2 lore with Relentless Beast. So 6 health on the Robin Hood, 3 on the Aerial, which is 9 times. That's 18 lore. So yeah, we could OTK right now if we had the Bayou. Does Along Came Zeus and doesn't fear my Relentless Beast. Takes out the Tragic Beast. Says, nah, I don't want you drawing more cards. And there's Sleepy's Flute. So our card draw did get shut off. I quest with the Beast because I know I can reactivate. I have to put out Sheriff of Nottingham, so I'm kind of assembling the pieces. Draw 2. I have 3 whole new worlds, so discard those are excessive. Hit the Aerial, which means Beast stands back up, which means he now can't be challenged. I could run him into the Aerial. Yeah, I have him sing it. He just stands right back up after he sings it, which is pretty... It's such a cool card, man. It's a shame it doesn't see more play because the idea of it is great, but obviously it's also a pay 6, do nothing on turn 6, which is never great. And I honestly just put out the Robin Hood there just to potentially psych my opponent out that, oh, maybe he... And then they concede. I must admit, I'm not 100% sure why they conceded there. I mean, they've got a big board. Or they've got... I mean, the lore isn't that far ahead. They've got a Sleepy's Flute. Maybe they had a terrible hand. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe they thought I was ready to go off on the combo and they didn't have anything to stop it. So, not sure why they conceded, but hey, we'll take it. Next up is Ruby Sapphire. This list cannot really hit our hand, but it has cards like Lady Tremaine, like a Be Prepared, that can mess with our Beast combo. So we have Morph Shift. We have Tinkerbell we could go into as well. Only thing I have to get rid of is the Tinkerbell. Now I actually have 2 pieces of the combo already. And I do like Ursula in this matchup. It can scout for Be Prepared, which is quite nice. Opponent inks Grammatala and does a Develop Your Brain. I go ahead and put out Robin Hood. He's a pretty scary card to see turn 1 as just, again, the threat of, oh, are they going to shift into the big Robin Hood? Quite good. Another Develop Your Brain. Card really made a comeback, huh? But that's all they got. So, okay, I'll just happily quest. I think about the Morph for a second as I can get out the Beast on turn, which maybe would have been the... But yeah, I got kind of... I don't know if greedy, but I wanted to see their hand. I was like, maybe if they have a 1 jump ahead, that's what I was thinking of. If they have 1 jump ahead, I want to pull it out of their hand. They did not, so Ursula hit nothing, and the Morph kind of backfires. Does have a Fishbone Quill, which is why I saved the Benja, because I thought, you know, they're going to be playing items in this list. So Benja immediately cracks the Quill. They did still use it to get 1 ink ahead, but at least now I've slowed it down greatly. And the one nice thing against going in Ruby Sapphire, they tend to not have a lot of early board presence. So until turn 5, where they can hit Maui and uh-oh, look at that. It's Cogsworth. So now I'm thinking, what do we do here? Well, so the combo does not exist while Cogsworth is on the board. And as long as they never exert Cogsworth, you don't really have a way to get him off the board. If anyone can think of something in green or steel, let me know. But the only thing that really hits, like, he has wards, you can't target him with anything. You have to essentially do board-wide damage. So a Tinkerbell hit, multiple grab your swords. But that's going to take a lot, right? That's not like you can just do 1 card and be done with it. So the Maui is obviously just going to eat up anything. I opt to quest with the Ursula. She's already done her job, and I'm still trying to push for lore. I don't really care if Maui takes her out. I'm going to leave the Robin Hood, again, just to kind of threaten that maybe I'm going to shift into big Robin Hood. And hey, if I draw one, I always could. So this matchup gets kind of funny. There's his 1 jump ahead. So he's still ramping up, but luckily he doesn't have a ton of card draw at the moment, whereas I do have the Beast. Smash, again, what a much weaker card without... much weaker card without... So I put out Sheriff of Nottingham, get rid of the Relentless Beast. Possibly should have done the reverse, but my idea is like, well, I don't actually know what I'm thinking there, to be honest. The Beast probably makes more sense because he's... Or maybe I just wanted to get the ink, and I didn't want to give up the other ones, so... There's a Queen of Hearts rush, so he is going quite wide. Now, I do know Tinkerbell can at least ping the Cogsworth. So we play that out, zeroed everything else. Smash, again, really doesn't do a ton in this matchup. I want to start pushing lore a little bit, so I do opt to push him forward. Yeah, I really probably should have put out Relentless Beast. I'm not... In my head, I think in my head, I wasn't properly accounting for the resist, because I was thinking, oh, well, if I discard, he can do said thing. That being said, Sheriff makes a great target now for Lady Tremaine. And as you can see, this one's kind of starting to get out of hand, right? The only benefit is that our opponent, 1 is out of cards, 2 can't actually quest for much right now. The only 2 cards they have that quest for more than 1 is Cogsworth and Tremaine. They're never going to exert Cogsworth because they know that's how I get around it. So their questing is actually quite low. So I just kind of start digging and say, all right, I clearly learned from my lesson. I get rid of the Sheriff of Nottingham, realize, okay, this is not going to help me out. Maybe we can just do something where we get so wide, and because I'm ahead on lore, I can just, like, quest for victory. So I hold back the Beast. The reason I hold back the Beast is in case they... Or am I going to put out Beast anyway? I actually don't remember what I do here. I might put out another Tinkerbell. Oh, I think I realized that, well, I can still get a Tinkerbell ping on the Cogsworth. So if I use Beast, play out another Tinkerbell, ready the Beast, now I have 9 lore on board. So I can actually just... Okay, if you don't top deck Be Prepared, I can just turn sideways. They top deck a Tala, but not a Be Prepared. And what looked to be an incredibly wide board and insane, yeah, our opponent just gives it to us, realizing, oh yeah, there's nothing we can do about that. I had 9 to quest. They needed to Be Prepared. They went so wide, so... Now, is that going to happen all the time? Probably not. Chances are, if this deck's running well for them, they're going to draw cards. They're going to see the Be Prepared. However, hey, at least it's not impossible, right? At least it wasn't, well, there's Cogsworth, the game's over. Yeah, we were able to pull it out in spite of that. Hand doesn't look terrible. We have Robin Hood set up. We don't really have any pieces of the combo, but I'm kind of okay with that. I have ways to draw cards. They also have turn 1 Robin Hood, so I have to put out my own Robin Hood and say, all right, well, let's play this game of chicken, see who has the Robin Hood shift. Inks of Cerberus, I haven't seen that card. Now here, I get rid of the other Robin Hood, and I just opt to put Morph out. Now I have an option. I could go into Beast as well, which is pretty cool. Do they have it? Yep, you bet your butt they do. Luckily, they don't have anything they can attack. They can sing. However, again, I have a choice of, even if you like sing, you know, what's it, Storm Rage on, and kill one of these, I can shift into the next one. So I opt to go for my Robin Hood. And I feel pretty safe questing with him. He can't, I guess he could cast like a Longheim Zeus and then attack, is his only real way to just out this in one shot. Or, you know, have a Merlin Crab, because I completely forgot about that card. Yeah, that works too, so whoops. Feels bad on my part. I do at least get a card draw off of it. The nice thing is, though, now, at least, he's at least kind of open to be attacked by something. What exactly? I have no idea. I'm thinking possibly Sheriff of Nottingham. I'm like, well, maybe I'll get Sheriff of Nottingham down, and then I can just ping the Robin Hood away. Our opponent sings Friends on the other side, keeps up the card draw, and just starts questing away, and then bounces the crab most likely. But just shows, yeah, hey, if you ever exert, I'm just going to blow your board apart. And draw another Uninkable, which isn't amazing. And the problem is I only have one source of discard right now, and it's the Strike a Good Match. So I can smash the Robin Hood out of there. The Fox is just out of range, but unfortunately the smash prevented me from getting down the Sheriff of Nottingham, and I need to keep my ink up. I just give up on the Strike a Good Match, because I'm thinking, well, I'm going to have to get down a Sheriff of Nottingham and Strike a Good Match to get 1 damage, and then that doesn't even kill this thing. So cuts off my card draw with Beast, which feels bad. Put out Sheriff of Nottingham. I don't really know why I did that. I probably should have just slapped out Robin Hood. But I think I'm hoping, well, maybe he'll Whole New World me. Sheriff of Nottingham does trigger off a Whole New World. So for every card I'm forced to discard off of that, he counts each one of those individually. So I think that's what I was thinking is, well, maybe he'll Whole New World me. And this way I can just boom, shoot off 3 shots and kill this Fox right away. Opponent quests with the Fox. I opt to use Beast to just get rid of the Tinkerbell, realizing, all right, well, I'm not going to draw anything off of that. Get rid of the smash and hold, again, potentially hoping for a Whole New World. Just get 2 easy shots off. If not, we can draw more cards. He draws with the Fox. Another Tinkerbell. Immediately shuts down the Beast. Oof. Not going to help. So I put out Sheriff of Nottingham. I do have a Bayou, and I can move 2 people there. So if I quest 1, I'll get 2 triggers. And the Beast does hit for 7. The only crappy part is the Beast will die to the Fox or the Goat, so he doesn't really have a clean target. I think I opt to hit the Goat because I'm like, I can't risk him bouncing this thing. I just got to get rid of it now. Move the Beast there as well. And I say, well, instead of just hitting the Goat, which is going to kill it, we'll do this. I'll quest, gets me a little higher. Now he's still forced to trade into the Beast, and I can get rid of the Goat. And then here, I can either... Yeah, I hit the Tinkerbell. That way, if the Tinkerbell runs into... I don't think it matters. The Tinkerbell will live regardless, but... But the Fox is already going to die anyway if Fox attacks Beast. And he wisely takes out the Bayou, realizing, nah, we're not going to have any of those shenanigans. No thanks, sir. Our opponent uses a smash to finish the Beast off. And is in a pretty good position as a single Sheriff of Nottingham with nothing to back him up. Is not very intimidating. I ink the Robin Hood. Yeah, it makes me miss a trigger for Sheriff of Nottingham, which is unfortunate, but I just feel like I have not much choice here, and I have to get as much ink as I possibly can. And at this point, I think, yeah, well, we got to get some bodies on board. I got to get stuff that could potentially challenge. Morph can shift into the Tinkerbell, so if the Morph lives, we've got a good shot potentially to come back into this. And there's Grab Your Swords. Nope. Whatever you thought you knew, not happening. And there's Ursula. So yeah, at that point, I'm like, okay, this is pretty much over. I can Whole New World to shoot off a bunch of damage to Sheriff of Nottingham, but I can't even kill this Ursula. Very difficult card. See, the shame, I actually think, though, I have Nottingham, I have the Beast, and I have the Bayou in hand. I've got the combo. And that Ursula is a nice, juicy target. So not seeing a better line, I say, you know what? Let's make him have it. Make him have removal for this Beast and this Sheriff. And I'm just going to go to town. If he cannot kill both these forwards, both these characters, we can actually win on our turn. We'll OTK. Doesn't matter. He can drain us to 0 lore. We'll win on our turn. And along came Zeus. Mentioned it in the deck description. Yeah, that card just puts an end to our plans. That Tinkerbell got a lot of singing done. And that's the game. It's over. We had a shot, though. We took a shot. We set it up. Okay. If he didn't have it, we have an OTK right there with Beast, Bayou, and Sheriff of Nottingham. So we just give up. That game's over. Final match will be against Amber Red. Amber Red. Man, I always mix the colors and the gems. So Amber Ruby. Ruby Amber, if you will, even though on Pixelborn it shows this as Amber Ruby. Anyway, likely a Mufasa deck. Usually that's what they are. That's what I'm anticipating. And for once, I actually have the entire combo piece right in my hand. I've got Bayou, I've got Beast, and I've got Sheriff of Nottingham. Just got to get to turn 6. I'm on the play too, which is very nice. So my turn 6 will line up with their turn 6. They're not putting out early pressure. So I just say, yep, let's just be patient. Strike a good match. Try to dig a little deeper. Not overly worried about items in this matchup. I keep the smash just in case I need to take out a queen. Gaston. So yeah, okay. Get rid of the smash. I probably drop an Ursa, or yeah, Hypnotize is a nice one here. Just takes their cards down by 1. Lets me draw 1 deeper. Ideally, you want to Ursula probably on turn 5, right before you put out, just before you put the Beast out. You want to kind of scout their hand, see if there's anything you should be afraid of. And at this point, too, I'm hoping, please, set up the bigger the board you have, the more lore I can gain with the combo. So our opponent inks a Talisman and drops the queen. I give a scout. He does have the big queen. Has several queens, actually. And again, could I smash this queen? Yes, but I want it to survive. I actually want more bodies for my combo to go off. I don't see anything in there that threatens the Beast, though, so we are inching towards that. Puts out the Queen of Hearts. Potentially threatens to get a lot. Ink the smash. And here I do opt to put out Robin Hood. It is a nice backup threat. If there's something I feel I have to get off the board, I can, which is nice. Plus, again, Robin Hood also gets you lore as he clears out targets, so not obviously the same as the OTK Beast power, but opts to do the Queen. Queen gives both of them questing power. Unfortunately, Gaston can't use it, but it makes his Reckless very strong. And 8-2 8-2 Reckless, that's not too bad. So here, I consider the Ursula. It's like, well, what if he draws Be Prepared? I was like, I think I'll be okay. I don't think he's going to have anything. So I could just leave these bodies alive for the power of the Beast. However, I think it would be insanely suspicious if I just didn't attack with Robin Hood. So I opt to hit with the, the Gaston. This way he can trade into the Robin Hood freely if he wants. I'll draw a card. He still keeps more bodies. And it still puts me up 2 lore. Yeah. In most situations, going for the big queen is the right thing to do there, but I wanted to potentially set up this line. He kind of has no reason not to run into me. Yep, gets rid of Robin Hood for free. I draw my card. And with 3 on board and an untouched Beast, folks, we are ready to combo. All right, so we're on 3 lore. Drop the Bayou, drop the Sheriff of Nottingham, move to the Bayou, quest with the Beast, draw a card, discard a card, Sheriff of Nottingham, reactivate the Beast, and let's just put that on loop. And this is it. This is what it looks like when you are in the middle of it. And again, the only thing that's going to slow this down or essentially holds it back is your opponent's running out of characters. Yeah, that I've now killed the character. So this will not quite be an OTK, because, again, they don't have enough on board. Had we left the Gaston, it would have been... Maybe that was the right call, just let the Gaston live, and then I would have had the Robin Hood to quest too, but either way. Again, so look at this. Yes, it is not an OTK, but we just went from 3 lore to 17 lore, lethal on board, and we wiped our opponent's board out. It's turn 6 for them. They can't be prepared. They can Maui, hit the beast, and then I'll get 1 lore, still quest with Sheriff of Nottingham. Like, that's kind of really their only efficient out. Lady Tremaine isn't going to do it. Sure enough, Lady Tremaine. Yeah, I'll happily give up Sheriff of Nottingham. He did his job, and there you go. This shows you the combo is really cool when it goes off. I do really enjoy it. It's fun. How competitive is it? I don't know, because you can't search out the pieces. So I still like it, though. And I don't know what it would be like against super meta stuff. It still requires you to see it all. But it's still a combo. It's just like Jafar Wheel, that if you see it and the pieces line up, there's not a whole lot they can do about it. There's really nothing they can do about it. So I really enjoy it. Let me know if you've tried it. Are there cards you've put in that you've had more success with? Something I missed? Please let me know in the comments below. I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, all that's good stuff. See you next time for Lorcana Wednesdays. Take care.